Hello, everyone. I'm Danielle Rogers, creator of Warrior Women Portraits. I'd like you to introduce you all to the amazing warrior I photographed at the very start of my warrior project. Jen, welcome, my warrior friend. How are
Hi,
ya?
I'm doing really well, thanks.
Good, good. Well, let's jump right into it. Let's talk about your cancer journey, how you found your tumor, what the diagnosis was, and then we can move forward from there.
Um, well, I guess it kind of starts way back when I was 27 and they found a lump. And up until I was 49, they basically said it was nothing. It was nothing to worry about. So whenever they rechecked me, I never thought that it was going to be anything
Sure.
because it was always there. And um, so it was like on the last day of the year that I had my mammogram, and they're like, "Oh, we need you to come back." And that's when I found out that it was finally cancer, and that was not fun. Um, I actually found out about it during my biopsy because they thought somebody else, the doctor had already told me, but nobody had told me. So
Oh
it was,
no.
yeah, I started crying during it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"What?" So yeah, it didn't start out great, but I mean, the people were so nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame them, but
It's
it
never
can't
their
be.
intention. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's never fun to tell something bad like that, I guess.
Right.
But so start of 2020, I found out about it, and it started from there. It was a little tumor, and I basically said, I don't want reconstruction. I want you to take both of them, and I want it to be flat. So
Yeah. What was your ultimate diagnosis? Were
it
they
was the estrogen. Two, they found, I think it was four tiny little tumors.
okay?
But I went in so regularly, they caught it so early. I didn't have to have any chemo. I didn't have to have radiation. All I had to take is
The blockers.
yeah, the
Yeah.
blocker.
Yeah. Yeah, the hormone blockers. Well, that's amazing that they found it so early. I mean, it is never a good thing to have to
Yeah,
go through the process, but sounds like best case scenario.
yeah, yeah.
In the
Mine was probably totally the best case scenario.
yeah, yeah. Did you, I know you said you ultimately knew you just wanted to go flat. Did you have any issues with um, your medical team that were around you? Were they supportive of that
Yeah,
decision?
yeah.
Wonderful. That's great. And what was the hardest part to handle through treatment for you, besides
Uh,
everything?
well, tamoxifen made me feel really, really bad. I mean, I had the ringing in the ears, headache all the time. It was pretty miserable.
Did you do um the whole, was it for a 5-year plan or was it a shorter?
No, no, they want me to do it for 10 years.
Oh
But
wow.
uh, now that I have the new um, oncologist, there she's going to do a test at 5 years to see if it's going to be needed for that long.
Okay. And
But it did change me to an Astrazole, and that's better
okay.
than tamoxifen. So mostly I get the achiness, the joints.
Hmm.
But she recommended that I try tart cherry
Oh,
for
what's that? Is that is
achiness.
that a type of drug or is that a
No, it's just basically tart cherry juice.
oh, interesting.
And it's been a game changer, I'll tell you.
Wow.
Um, I had to find a particular, I think finding the particular brand that I did helped because it seems to work where some of the others I've tried that were cheaper
Uh-huh.
haven't. So
Yeah. Is it a specific brand that you tend to go towards?
Yeah, I went to Natural Grocers in Beaverton, and
Okay.
it's called Dynamic Health,
Okay. I'm
and it's just
sure
a little
anybody would
small.
love, yeah, to know like anything that they can help. That's awesome that you found that.
Yeah, and it actually takes the edge off almost within 20, 30 minutes.
Wow.
And
That's
I just
incredible.
I take it once a day, 2 tablespoons in some water, and it tastes fantastic too. So,
Even
uh,
better.
yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad you found that because I know the hormone suppressants tend to be what women find the hardest to handle to the point where a lot of them just go off of them and just say like, I'm going to let the future take the reins because I just can't even handle the side effects. So that's really cool that your oncologist was able to like kind of more navigate you into a medication that is a little bit gentler on your psyche and your body because I know we all prefer that choice or
For,
option, right?
for sure.
Uh, Awesome. Well, let's talk about your warrior experience. I know you were early on when I was still trying to like find my way and I mean, I'm still trying to find my way, but what made you decide to trust in me to do your warrior experience?
Well, you had a vision that I more saw myself as a warrior, than I guess as a victim of it, I guess.
Sure.
That's a good way of putting it. I mean, we're all kind of at the mercy of our bodies, unfortunately, but I had a friend that had set me up with a picture, um, I'd say about a year and a half out of my cancer diagnosis, and now I'm at about 4 years.
Okay.
And it was more of a boudoir kind of photo, and it was not me.
Yeah.
It was me at all. And I mean, it was great and they were pretty, but it wasn't like I could show anybody those pictures.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, no, this was much more me. As you could see, I was felt very comfortable with weapons.
I loved it. I loved it. You're like, hey, I'm just gonna, you were just like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I'm like, fantastic. You go with it, girlfriend. You were having fun with it. I love it.
I took a little Tai Chi sword practice thing. So, I mean,
Okay.
I've dealt with some of those things. So it was
Well,
it was so much fun.
yeah, you can definitely tell that you were accustomed to just the handling, like, because a lot of people, I mean, myself included, not that I have like dagger experience or anything like that. I'm sure that people would look at me like, what are you doing? Like, but it was really fun and it really made my job easy by you having that background. So I appreciated that. And it allowed me to have a lot of fun and a lot of variety as well. Was there a favorite part during the shoot?
Oh, I liked it when you did the shot of me with the crow, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. Yeah, I've been really trying to figure out different ways of making it more artistic in the end, doing more of a composite. So that's always fun and unique, and obviously uh, something that people aren't expecting. Like even though I say like, hey, I'm going to put a bird or a crow or something here, it's still hard to visualize what that actually looks like. And how did you feel about the pictures when you saw them?
Oh, I loved them. I loved them. It was a
That's
lot of fun.
that is awesome. Well, is there anything else that you would say, like if someone is nervous about signing up, um, like what you could suggest for them if they decide to do a warrior experience?
It's always nervous to, go in and meet somebody new and do something, but uh going in, it was so comfortable from the get-go. Even when I helped you the one time with some other warrior ladies, that was so much fun. I mean, and you feel like you came out of there with friends. So,
Absolutely.
it was definitely worth everything.
Yeah. And I was really glad that you were, because since our session was just individual, since I was still trying to figure out all the kinks and quirks, yeah, I was definitely glad that you were able to see that experience and like the full, like what, like it has a kind of transformed into, because ultimately that group setting I feel like is so important. So
It really is.
everybody, yeah, so everybody, you know, everybody's nervous and everybody just kind of like finds their way. And like I said, like you said, in the end, you know, you feel like you're with a bunch of friends, and that's kind of the hope.
Yeah,
So
and the other ladies, you can build off of what each other's doing. You can see kind of, okay, this is what it means, and this is how they interpret it, but this is how I'm gonna do
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Uh, so
absolutely. It's very, very individual.
uh-huh.
I have so many women that want more of a pretty, like kind of goddess warrior kind of feel. And then you
Yeah,
have more of like a battle warrior, you know, and it's all perfectly okay. And 100% accepting. And ultimately it's whatever type of warrior you guys see yourselves as. And
exactly.
and it's so fun to watch. It's like, because I know everybody is so nervous in the beginning, and watching their looks transform, I can see the excitement just like start to build and build and build, because they're like, okay, this is actually like coming together, right? It's actually starting to feel like something, you know, like a character, so to speak. So yeah, that's really cool. And thank you for coming. And I appreciate you coming and helping, because it's a beautiful experience. I always want to keep every single person in the studio at the time someone that understands the cancer journey, and that's really important to me, that everybody, no matter who they're talking to, gets it on some level.
Oh, for sure.
Um, so that's really cool. Well, what kind of positive, we like to leave it things on a positive note. So is there any positive things that have come out of your cancer diagnosis that you have benefited from? Benefited from. Let's word.
Well, I'm always telling people to check their boobs because, the earlier you catch it, the less pain you're going to
Trauma.
go through,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
because it is traumatizing, but there is a great community out there. I mean, when I met all the groups on the Flatty people
Mhm.
get together, it was so neat to meet adult women that you may not have uh, anything else in common with, but
Right.
you felt so accepted in. It
Yeah.
really is such a something I'd never even expected, and it's
Yeah.
wonderful.
You were the first retreat that you were at was the one in here in Hillsborough, right? The Oregon
Yeah.
one. Yeah, I was unfortunate. And ironically, I was unable to make that retreat, but it actually put me on the path of how I transformed this experience into, because of watching the connection of all these random individuals coming together and feeling a connection. And that's
Mhm.
ultimately where I was like, this has to be a group experience, because you could see the value in that, especially in something that is so vulnerable and traumatic for a lot of us.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's really cool. Well, if there's not anything else you would like to share, I will bid you adieu for the day, my dear. And I
Well,
appreciate you letting me be, having you be my guinea pig in the beginning. I appreciate it. And who knows, we'll have to do it again sometime.
definitely. It was such an honor to be able to do that. So
That's
I,
awesome. Well, I do have a vision, and you're the first on my list to be calling, to be like, hey, do you want to come over and play? And so
yeah,
awesome. I'm
I
sure
keep
we will
getting
be.
costume ideas. So
Right? I know. I love it. I love it. Oh, and that was the other thing. You came with all this magical stuff that you created with your sewing machine. I was like, I wasn't prepared for someone to come with wardrobe, and it was epic. And you were so kind to leave it with me so other warriors could use it. And so
I
thank you
love
for
seeing
that.
my horns, though. I love seeing the horns on the other on the other ladies. I'm like, yes.
Yes, yes, I know. It's yeah, and the wraps have been a really success that you used, and then the rope skirt has been used a few times. Um, so yeah, it's been very cool, and I appreciate that very much. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for allowing us to hear your story, and I look forward to seeing you
Okie dokie.
soon.